Now, over the last 1 week, residents of Lokechar in Turkana East constituency have paralyzed oil transportation to Mombasa, protesting runaway insecurity, among other issues.
5% nataka nge kwa ATM yetu, kila mtu apate kwa ATM akule kama lopetuni kila mwezi apate,
lakini talo anaandika mtu ama hakuna watu yote na watu tu kiasi.
They are bringing people from their motherland to this place to work here. They are taking all the major contracts, leaving the people of Turkana impoverished every now and then. We will not allow that as Turkana leaders.
Haki ya Turkana lazima tupewe. Kazi ya Turkana lazima wapewe. Heshima yao lazima wapewe. Contract zao lazima wapewe. Usalama yao lazima wafanye nini?
Also brazen have been their actions that they broke into Ngamia 8 storage facility where oil trucks are being loaded before they depart to Mombasa. Their actions buoyed by the support of their local MPs, that is Turkana East's Mohamed Lokiru and Turkana South's James Lomenen. All this happening just a month after President Kenyatta launched the exportation of crude oil. While Petroleum Cabinet Secretary John Munyes, who also hails from the region, has been camping in the area and now joins us live from Lodwar. Waziri, thank you so much for making time for us this evening. So for a week, locals have barricaded in Ngamia 8 storage facility. They chased away the guards. They have stopped the transportation of oil to Mombasa. It is really shocking that they can do that. You have been camping there now. So what is going on and what are you doing about it?
It's a pity this has happened, and after we flagged over this early oil, it was going to give us a lot of hope. The whole world was happy about it, and that now we're facing a problem that the public is attributing to insecurity, attributing also to matters of local content, jobs, employment. They want tenders, they want us to help them sort out the infrastructure. These are issues we can deal with. It's a pity it has gone, it has escalated this way. We are actually helping as government. I'm talking to the stakeholders. We have had a meeting yesterday with the governor and leadership to discuss matters that touch both insecurity and local content. We are on the ground trying to sort out this problem.
But it's been almost a week. That is what is shocking Kenyans, that for almost a week, and we'll come to the issues that all the locals are raising, that for almost a week, they can stop the transportation of crude oil from Turkana to Mombasa, and stop and paralyze the operations. And you're saying, I mean, you are there, you'll make us appreciate how difficult or not it is. And you're saying you're still trying to resolve this. How difficult is it? As the government, that is.
It's difficult. I've told them, as a cabinet secretary, we cannot allow these stoppages. We appreciate insecurity, but we cannot link insecurity with transportation of a commodity that is going to help this country. We are going to sort out issues of insecurity. We don't want to engage the public. We don't want to start shooting on the road to endanger people's lives. That's why we've given them some few days. We're engaging the public here. We're telling them you cannot stop this resource that is meant for the whole country, that is meant for Turkana.
From what we get from our reporters on the ground, nobody can access that area except these locals. Have you been able to access that area yourself, Ngamia 8 storage facility? I mean, that is where the operation has been paralyzed, and are they listening to you when you tell them, or have you even told them to just let the operations go on as you try and sort out this matter?
Well, the stakeholders have been meeting, we've been meeting people there. I move the camps, there's no problem. We're only taking caution that we cannot drive the trucks for the fact we don't want people to be killed. Assuming somebody shot the driver, or assuming the police fired against the public that is demonstrating on the road. We don't want to get the image that we're fighting the public. So we've given it some few days. The Minister of Interior is going to step up ways of improving security to ensure we appreciate the problem of insecurity. And it's not only Turkana, it's affecting many other counties. But we cannot tie this with matters of IMOP, of this early piloting of oil in this country.
So, I mean, okay, let's talk about insecurity. And you're saying it's not only Turkana, yet you appreciate it, that's true. I mean, they are wondering, and they've been talking about this, you've been hearing them talk to the media, wondering how and why the oil storage transportation is well guarded and secured, and yet their source of livelihood around all these operations, that is livestock, and their lives are not secure. Is this a genuine concern? Do you think they have a genuine concern?
It's just wrong timing. And let me tell you, the government escalated this and, stepped up security in the region. Over 600 soldiers were deployed to this area. The question the public is raising is the return of the stolen animals. I am telling them it is not something you can do in one day. It is taking government time. The Interior Ministry is working on it. We will have to look for these cattle rustlers, pursue them, and government is doing that. But as we do that, we cannot stop this oil. I'm telling them, allow the oil to go through, and let's not be stopping oil, because this way, we're actually interfering with what we actually promised the president. We gave the president a promise as a county that we will support the agenda of ensuring Kenya becomes a world producer. Now, another matter has come up. Let's actually deal with it in a very sober way.
Well, the other sticking point is, and has been, the sharing of revenues. We saw that even before this launching of exportation last month. The national government will get 75%, that is Kenyans generally, county government 20%, and local community 20%. Of course, you as the government announced that commercialization, the earliest we can see them start will be about in 2021. But they are raising concerns about this, and they are demanding that the 5% for the local community, and we'll come to that, be channeled directly to their accounts. You've heard what they keep saying as Tunataka ATM. First, how do you respond to that?
We have started community engagements to educate the public on how we can use our revenues to develop Turkana County. We are opposed to people agitating and advising the communities that 5% should be in people's pockets. That is definitely not a good way to actually use these resources. We are telling them we have a number of issues. We have education for Turkana. We need to increase food production in Turkana. We need to develop Turkana. That money should go for development. It cannot go into people's pocket for people to drink, to spend the way they want. The president has pronounced on this matter. We, the leadership of Turkana, are actually engaging our people and telling them it is wrong to have money in your pockets for you to do what you want to do. When this comes, and it's not something that is going to happen tomorrow, we're waiting for this in the next 3-4 years. When this comes, the money will be given for matters of development.
Right, and I mean, you're talking about this for the next 3 to 4 years. Somehow the way they're speaking is like they've seen the trucks leaving, exporting the oil already, or taking the oil to Mombasa, and they believe they should get the money. That is number one. Number two, does it point to the failure by government to do enough civic education? Even the media doesn't seem to know, because, for example, when you say local community, who do you define as local community? And where? Is it in the community around Ngamia 8, in Lokichar, in Turkana East or South, or Turkana County as a whole? Is that how you define the local community? And exactly how, and this is their concern when they talk about they want this money to come directly to them. How exactly is this 5% set to be administered? Through the county, through the CDF, by opinion leaders? Who exactly? Who is going to administer this? Or the government?
I define the community as the host community, and they're mainly the people of Turkana East and the people of Turkana South. As far as I'm concerned, when the 5% comes, it will be deliberated, it will be discussed in Parliament, and there will be legislation to guide us on how that 5% will be spent. I want to tell my people to cool down and wait. There will be more engagements coming. We'll be engaging them further. We've had so many engagements. Talo, for instance, is putting enough resources to ensure we educate the public. The State Department of Petroleum, as an elaborate program. I was actually going to organize stakeholders meetings starting Tuesday. And this has been curtailed by the stoppages. We are ready to engage the public on these issues.
Okay, so the definition of the local community is saying this will only happen for the people of Turkana South and Turkana East. And in terms of how it's going to be done, you're saying there'll be legislation about it later on, including, was it just for the record, including who is going to administer it?
Well, it is going to be a fund. It will be a sovereign fund that will actually manage these resources on behalf of the people. They will sit down, the moment the legislation comes out, they will sit down under a committee. We will actually discuss what is their priority, and there will be a ranking process to know what is important in the community, and that way we'll actually fund those activities. If they surplus, it remains in the fund.
As government, or?
That is the best way to administer it. But we can't allow, we'll be failing in our responsibility as leadership to allow a public that looks at that money for purposes of their pockets. We will not allow that.
So you will not allow what they're asking for to get the money directly to their accounts or whatever? That won't happen?
We will use our machinery to educate them.
Okay.
We know the bad side of oil, and we know the good side of this oil. We know it has worked in other countries. We know the experience of the UAE, that what they got, that resource was used to develop that country. We know how it has not worked in other countries.
Right.
So we will not misguide our people. Public participation is important, but we will take enough time to guide our people.
So they also demand jobs,
Correct.
tenders, and complain of nepotism, and these are allegations against tallow oil. How are you addressing this?
This meeting, the meeting I'm talking about, was supposed to be this week. We were going to have a round-table meeting with the State Department of Petroleum. Tallow, the leadership of Tallow was going to attend. We were going to get the professionals in Turkana, the leadership of Turkana, the county government, on a round table to discuss these matters. I know they have not done enough. I personally challenge Tallow to improve on local content. We must be serious on what people are saying. I appreciate their concerns, insecurity, local content. These are true facts. But we also need to support the investor to deliver. And the investor, Tallow, has accepted to come on a round table for us to look at the figures. And where we can improve, we improve quickly for the sake of this operation.
Okay, at some point during this interview, you talked about this being escalated, and you almost stopped short of saying there are people inciting, because you're saying there are people who are telling them these things. Are you blaming anyone specifically for this?
It's a general concern I am having. I want to condemn. If there are people inciting the public to stop an operation, an oil operation that is helping this country and helping Turkana, to endanger the lives of poor Kenyans and kids, women, to lie on the road, to make government shoot them and kill them, that we cannot allow. I want to caution them.
You know
they're not doing the right thing. I want to tell them His Excellency the President loves Turkana, and I said we will not engage in violence, in that physique they're trying to bring us. It is wrong. Let's engage, let's talk and advise our people properly. We will not allow those people to continue like that.
Do you know them? Do you know these people?
Well, I can't say them now. It's a matter of investigation. We're still investigating to know who is actually behind this.
Okay.
But for a fact, public cannot just wake up one day and engage on the road. There must be some level of incitement that is happening in Turkana East and South. I'm appealing to my people, the Turkana of Turkana East and South, and the larger Turkana. Let's bring some sobriety in this matter. Let's own this process as our own process. Let's support the country to deliver the promise of ensuring we actually have a resource that will fetch some exchequer for this country.
Right.
It's good for all of us. It's not going to help us to shut down, but if it comes to the worst, for sure we will not allow lives and stoppages. We will have to end up and shut it down.
Okay, I mean, we have local leaders like James Lomenen and Mohamed Lukiru supporting, and we've seen them supporting these people in Turkana who are protesting. Have you been able to reach them, the local leadership? Have you been able to talk to them?
Yes, I've already reached them. I've reached Lomenen, I've reached Mohamed of Turkana East, Lomenen of Turkana South. I've met all the MPs together 3 days ago. Yesterday, I met them in the presence of the county government, the governor, the county commissioner. And they're all supportive. They want to end this process. I mean, this stalemate. I'm telling them, let's all support the president and the country. This country is ours, and we should all contribute in developing this country. And one way to do that is to ensure we exploit the resources we have in our counties for us to contribute to the national good.
Okay, how do you navigate this finally? Yeah, finally then, how do you navigate this? Bearing in mind that what some have observed, and arguably correctly so, that this can set a dangerous precedent, you know, where local communities can use this as a bargaining chip or tool repeatedly to their own ends. How do you manage this?
We need to develop some conflict resolution mechanisms that will now ensure grievances are actually brought on the table. That there's a leadership structure, a liaisons. We have to create liaison officers that will help us now detect some of these problems, bring them on the table for us to discuss them. The solution is not going on the road. The solution is actually to bring matters sensitive like these matters on the table for us to discuss.
Waziri, away from the conflict now, how early will Kenyans enjoy the proceeds of this oil or oil exportation? And will Kenyans ever use this fuel? These are some of the questions Kenyans keep asking. Do you have also plans to set up a refinery?
Commercialization of the oil is by 2021. We are now completing the first phase of the EMOP. We did the discovery of hydrocarbons. We came into developing it. We are now tracking. The marketing aspects are starting now. We are testing the market by ensuring we transport the crude oil, collect it up to 2,000 barrels and get a price for it. The second phase is when we go into the construction of the pipeline. And that's the midstream level now, where we actually put the pipeline from Lokichar to the port of Lamu. At that point, then you call it commercial. That is now talk of 2021, 2022. So by then, up to then, we'll be talking of very insignificant volumes. But by the time we start piping,
yes,
they will be eating 60 to 80,000 barrels per day, and that will be economical.
Right.
But for the issue of the refinery, I think we don't have enough stocks to enable us set up a refinery. But as we continue exploring, we will wait and see whether we'll discover oil in Marakwet, in northern Kenya, in the port of Lamu, north of Lamu. If all that is, if all that increases the output, then we should expect to think of the refinery when it comes to that time.
Okay. So it's early days still. Waziri, thank you so much for making time for us on the big question.
And thank you very much.
You're welcome. And keep texting us, 22422. On Twitter is the hashtag, the big question. We're back after this break.